Have you ever looked up one day and realized that something profound or something monumental in your life has shifted? Maybe it's the end of a relationship or a job you used to love, you no longer love anymore. Or perhaps that you just find that you're not who you used to be. You've changed. And here's one thing, was this change really something that happened all of a sudden? Or was it just that we missed the signs along the way and this change was happening? We just weren't paying attention to it. Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another Mindful Monday. That's right, I'm your girl, Arika Trimnell, also known as the Mindful Mistress, here to offer you unique insights and perspectives, a way to help us grow not only personally, professionally, but spiritually, allowing us to embrace every aspect of our journey while breaking that mental prism of limitations. So today we are going to dive into the art of change. Life really mirrors the cycles of nature and what it means to truly see the signs along the way and help us navigate change just a little bit better, become more of a master at navigating change. So let's take a moment and think about seasons, right? If you can't tell behind me, it is fall. The leaves are literally falling and they are changing colors. So nature has its way of gracefully, slowly transitioning us from one state to another. Think of it, one of the images that comes to my mind is like an ice cube. It was water and it slowly over time becomes an ice cube and vice versa. When ice melts, it becomes water. So it's that transitional phase. And we all know when ice particularly is melting because there are signs. It doesn't, when we think of like nature, it doesn't one day wake up and suddenly fall is off of a cliff and we're right from summer to winter. No, we have this fall season for a reason. It helps us slow down from the busyness and the excitement and the hotness, Lord, of summer. And as we ease into the winter months, so slowly bringing us into this transition. Leaves start to change, right? The colors deepen, they go from green to golden yellow or red, and then they finally fall off. But all the time we are being prepared for this moment. So just like in life, change really doesn't happen so much overnight. Yes, there are obviously caveats to this, but life really does give us signs. These little shifts in temperature changes the environment, subtle changes, subtle nudges that tell us that something is coming, something's underway. But we're often so immersed in our daily grind that we miss these little signs. And when we ignore them, it seems like life literally just happens, right? And it hits us in the face, and this monumental change has happened. But it's just that we weren't there to notice the signs that were preceding this monumental change for us to be able to start making corrections or start making changes in our own life to prepare for what's next. So I want you to, or I invite you more so to think about that. Let that sit somewhere. And maybe there's some uncomfortableness when we think about change and you going through a change right now. I know I'm going through several changes right now, several changes all at once, but there have been signs along the way. I can't necessarily say that any of the changes or transitions that I'm currently going through literally happened overnight. There's been a series of events that have led to said change. So take some time, think about it. Maybe this is something you want to journal about later on or sometime this week. Maybe, right, maybe you're in a job that feels stagnant, or there's a friendship or relationship that you now feel like is kind of turned one-sided. There are signs that may start a sense of boredom or a repeat argument in a relationship, we often think, oh, it'll get better, or we shrug it off. But each of these little signs is just a signal. It's a signal, it's a leaf dropping, it's a leaf starting to change color. It's a sign that something else is evolving, and maybe it is time to let go or to shift, to navigate, to course correct, if you will. So to give you an example, I love sharing anecdotes from my clients, but I'm going to be open and vulnerable with you. So yesterday I had the pleasure of hosting a beautiful celebration of life, not funeral, but just someone's birthday. And this was a monumental birthday for this particular person. And it really hit me. One, we are in the thick of fall. The leaves are changing, the leaves are dropping. It's so beautiful outside. And a really good dear friend of mine is in the kitchen cooking. I'm in charge of the aesthetics, so I'm getting the aesthetics together. I'm making sure, we got the placemats, we got the nice looking china that's plastic. We do have the real silverware and the flutes to go with it. The house is clean, all of the things. So I'm in charge of aesthetics, and um, just realizing that this particular friend in my life has been a friend as of recent, probably within the last 4 years. But I've grown such a huge affinity for this person and the experiences that we have shared. And one of those experiences, and I'm about to I feel like I'm about to tear up. One of those experiences is my friend in the kitchen cooking, and me being so grateful that I have the space to allow my friend to really immerse in the kitchen and the joy, the art of cooking. This friend, this is not, it's not their job, but it's just something that they love to do. So grateful that we're able to share in that experience, and then also host another friend their birthday, and be able to have the space to open up this particular experience to people in my life who are not used to how I love to celebrate life. And it's not for show, it's not for bragging rights or anything like that. It's truly just because I know how beautiful this life is. I know how precious it is. And I know that not everybody gets the opportunity to enjoy the now, or even knows how to enjoy the now. So anytime I'm able to open up my home, open up my space, create events, create experiences for people, I really jump at the chance to it, because this is not just an event that we curated for this particular person, but this is an experience that we get to be a part of. We get to share in the joy and the celebration, and in all of the shenanigans that go on with celebrating such a monumentous occasion. And so this friend is likely going to be transitioning out and leaving, and so that brought up some grief. And I had a moment to process my grief of, man, I really need to cherish this, because there might be only a handful more that are going to be in this house, that are going to be just like this, right? Going to be in the same city that I am in, and just wanted to soak up all of the joy of seeing the madness of my friend cooking in my kitchen. Like, completely, it was a mess with flour and all of the things everywhere. It looked absolutely amazing, but just reveling in that. So that was me able to start to process the change of how we interact, and the change of knowing that there's going to be a transition that happens in our friendship when this friend moves away, right? And how I can prepare for that. So it doesn't seem like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, this person who has been a staple, who has been a foundation, who has been a sounding board in my life is just up and gone one day. No, I know that this is going to happen, because just like anything, change is the most constant thing. And so I can see the signs. I've noticed the signs. I've called the signs out before this friend even recognized, or I'll say acknowledged it out loud, that the signs are there, that the timeline is getting shorter. the days here are going to be shorter than the days here are going to be shorter. And then the days away are going to be longer. And that could be coming up literally around the corner. So I had a moment to process that. And in that, again, that was my own mirror, my own reflection to see that there are so many transitions going on in my life. For those of you who know me, I am moving my mother into my house, which has been an experience to say the least. Again, another change, another transition. And although if you are close to me, you will have heard me say, "What? I don't know what happened. It's like overnight. She's ready to be here." But there have been signs. There has been communication. So if I probably paid a little bit more attention, I probably would have been better at anticipating that this is where I would be. So just to give you some real life examples, not from clients, but from me personally, once you know what's going on in my personal world, I have no problems opening up and being vulnerable with you. So maybe you can see the mirror in me that is reflected by you, right, in your situation. So recognizing these signs is really a beautiful thing because it's what can help liberate you from a situation so we aren't clinging to something that we know is about to leave us. And then we aren't pushing something away that we know is coming as well. It gives us time to prepare, to lay the groundwork, whether that be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, resource yourself for when this time is going to come. And that's by acknowledging the signs that we see along the way that change is coming, change is here. So what I would love to do and how I would love to help both of us is by breaking down some ways that we can just better attune ourselves. Again, like moving that prism just a little bit so the spectrum, the rainbow comes through. So just better attuning ourselves to be able to listen, to hear, spot the changes in our life. And so that way we can take actions. And one of the ways is by observing the small shifts. So just like the leaves slowly start to change colors, look for these exact same signs in your own life. Are there relationships or routines or beliefs that are maybe slowly no longer feeling in sync with who you are right now? Notice them, not with any judgment that be it right or wrong, but just take note of that because that's a sign that change is coming. Another thing is taking time for reflection. So I'm very much an advocate of having moments of pause or stillness to reflect. So carving out some time, some space to sit with your thoughts regularly, maybe journaling, meditating, a long walk, especially in this beautiful fall season, if you are in a place where you get to experience all four seasons, taking this opportunity to just be with yourself. So that way, the changes that are going on in your life, you allow them a seat at the table. So you can recognize them and you're not overlooking them because you're crowding your purview with so many different other stimuli. Another way that we can better attune to this is the practice of letting go, which can be so hard. But again, just like in the situation we're in now, it's fall. So nature naturally releases its leaves because it is no longer necessary. Now, I invite you to sit on that. I invite you to meditate on that. What are you holding on to that is no longer necessary in your life? So similarly, in that same realm of letting go of whether that's old patterns or relationships or situationships or entanglements, no judgment here. We embrace all aspects of life here, but things that are maybe painful, it could be painful or essential about letting go. Embrace that discomfort of release, knowing that you are making room for something new, for something that is more aligned and attuned to where you are in your life. So embracing change is really a natural part of life as we see, mimic and mirror in nature, rather than seeing change as something that is disruptive. View it as something that's inevitable and something that actually enriches your journey. Just like each season is meant for transformation, so is change to bring new things into your life. Another way that we can better attune is by taking some small steps. When we recognize a change, finding ways to lean into it by noticing, like, okay, the leaves are falling or the leaves are changing colors. Perhaps maybe I should start putting on some heavier clothes, some thicker material. That's one way of leaning into that. Maybe it's a conversation that you need to have with a friend. Maybe it's a conversation that you need to have with yourself. Being open and honest. Again, when you're able to craft those moments where you can be reflective or meditative, you allow yourself the opportunity to figure out what that conversation is like, figure out how to say it with love and from a place of love and grace versus feeling like you didn't have a choice or there's this disdain or anger. And if there is, that gives you some time to work through that and figure out where the actual root of it is coming from. Likely it's not the situation. You do not have to do a 180 and uproot your life into a new habit, a new pattern. You could slowly make incremental change, but that's when you're able to anticipate the change because now we've attuned to the small, subtle changes that nature has provided, right? It's like Hansel and Gretel. You've got the little breadcrumbs of change that are coming your way. So as you pick up each little breadcrumb of change, you're like, oh, okay, so this means maybe I need to start thinking about this now. Maybe I need to start researching for that renovation. Maybe that means I need to start researching this new place that I've been thinking about moving because I just got this breadcrumb. Maybe I heard from a conversation last night that somebody was told that they were meant to do a book. Okay, so maybe this person needs to start writing more, start journaling more, or doing brain mapping, right? Change is coming, but if we can attune to it, we can also respond to those miniature attunements versus having that good old fashioned adjustment after you haven't been to the chiropractor in months. I know nothing about that. So these are just a few ways that you and I both can work to attune ourselves to the changes that happen in our lives. We can be more in flow like water, more like nature. And really, the truth about change is that it is literally and always around the corner. Just like the season, right? We're in fall now, but it's about to be winter. Just like the leaves are always in a state of becoming, constantly evolving, growing, and yes, sometimes letting go too. So the next time that you feel that little nudge, or maybe it's a subtle shift, don't push it aside. Sit with it, explore it, and see where it leads you. I say this because from my experience, embracing change is really about enduring and wanting to become the best version of yourself. And by not resisting, we allow ourselves the ability to expand to more than what we thought was even possible. So I want to thank you again for joining me, you beautiful souls, on another lovely episode of Mindful Monday. I really hope that this was helpful. This helped me even work through my own little revelations. And I had a good cry yesterday. The good cry that I had yesterday in helping us see change as not an unwanted guest or visitor, but as a familiar friend, someone that is maybe a guide, guiding you to something more fuller, more authentic, something that resonates with you more than the things in this moment do. So with anyone who needs help, I'm always here. Let's keep the conversation going. If there are any other tips and tricks on how you attune to the change in your life, let me know so I can add some more tools to my tool belt. As always, I love sharing these moments with you. Until next time, stay mindful, stay present, and keep growing. Bye.